Welcome back to CBS Sports HQ. Kansas State moving on to the Sweet 16 after a 75-69 win over Kentucky. What a great game this was. Back and forth. Wildcats, the Blue Wildcats, certainly had their moments in this one. Oscar Tshiebwe outstanding for them. 25 points, 18 rebounds. Cason Wallace, had 21 points. But the story of this game, certainly for Kansas State, was Marquise Noel, 27 points and 9 assists as he leads the way for K-State as they move on to the Sweet 16. And for more on this game, let's now welcome in CBS Sports College basketball analyst Timmy Doyle. Tim, what a great game this was. Back and forth, lots of lead changes. Was it everything that you expected?
Yeah, this game was awful from the field. Both these teams really struggled from three-point range, and that ended up being a giant story in this state game as Antonio Reeves just could not make a perimeter shot. 0 of 9 from 3. Oscar Tshiebwe carried his weight as far as scoring and rebounding, but the difference was Marquise Noel. You talked about it. 5'0", 100 and nothing, but a lot of athletic ability. The opposite of Rudy. From what a great movie. I still cry when I watch that. But he was awesome in this game because he had the heart of a champion and he made every key shot. But he was helped. I thought Massad's 3 and Johnson's 3 ended up being the two biggest shots of the game because both these teams combined at one point were 8 for 40 from 3. That ain't good. It's 20% from 3. But they went back-to-back possessions where both those guys made threes, and that kind of opened up the lead, and they made their free throws down the stretch, 18 of 22. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but it's a win, and K-State moves on.
Yeah, 5 of 21 for K-State from 3. They ended up shooting 48% from the field overall. But, Tim, in terms of what happened for John Calipari's team here, what was the difference for you? 16 turnovers, obviously, as you mentioned, not a great shooting day for this team.
Yeah, they won the rebounding edge 45-25.
Yeah.
I had to kind of that over again. They dominated points in the paint. But the way the game is played now, you got one guy that takes 9 threes and he misses all 9 of them. If he makes 2, they win this game. So the way the three-point shot kind of dictates team success or lack thereof, that was really the game was a coin flip game. Kansas State made 2 big threes down the stretch. Kentucky did not. They had, similar looks, open looks. Is this John Calipari's fault? He's not shooting the shots. He just brings in the players to shoot the shots. And I think talent-wise, we never really looked to Kentucky as a real threat this year to win a national championship. I thought it was a very solid team. Obviously, a team that leaned on Tshiebwe, leaned on defense, leaned on rebounding. They didn't lean on outside shooting today, Jeremy, because they struggled from 3, and that ended up being the difference. K-State made big threes. Kentucky missed all theirs.
For Jerome Tang, what about the job that he's done with this K-State team? Not expected to do a lot this year. Now they're off to the Sweet 16. So, give me your thoughts on what he's done with this team.
Did you see the locker room? If you hadn't, go check it out on Twitter right now. He had everybody. It was almost like Matthew McConaughey, like Wolf of Wall Street, like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. He's got everybody on the same page. When you have a guy like Noel, who's 5'8", and nothing has been handed to him throughout his life, because when you step on a court, you see the other guy who's 5'8". As a former Big East and Big Ten basketball player, you kind of roll your eyes. Now, as an adult, you know that his whole life he's always been the smallest guy and what he's had to overcome. And that extension of Tang to Noel, now you have that built-in leader. First game of the tournament against Montana State, he had 14 assists. Jeremy, nobody passes the ball well anymore. And he has such an amazing basketball IQ. And then in this game, he made big shot after big shot because you felt like, all right, Kentucky opened up this lead. And here's this 5'8" nothing guy who no one recruited out of high school. He had 0 scholarship offers, and he went out there and just dominated BBN, Big Blue Nation, on the largest scale. This is what the tournament's all about. This kid, no one wanted him, no one recruited him, but he's a 50-year guy. He's a leader, and this is what's going to win. You want to know what's going to win? It's the oldest trick it's called guard play. Kentucky lacked thereof. They had good inside play, didn't have the guard play. Kansas State had solid guard play, and you just love a kid like Noel. That the one benefit is he can go into any store and find something that fits him. All right. For us tall guys, well, I can never find. I go to Banana Republic. I'm like, I'll take the scarf because nothing fits me in there. Kid was sensational today. Congratulations.
Yeah, and you saw 23 of his 27 points coming in the second half. He stood up big for K-State in this one. So next up, a trip to Madison Square Garden where they were going to face the winner of Michigan State and Marquette. When you look at that matchup, who's the better matchup for them?
Yeah, I would rather play Michigan State. The only reason that I wouldn't want to play Marquette is the Big East Conference tournament is at Madison Square Garden, right? And who won it this year? Marquette. So, the fans have already been out there. They've already traveled. They already know the bars they like to go to. They already know the hotel that they stayed in, meaning they're going to get an amazing contingent. There's already a big Marquette contingent in the New York metropolitan area, but they are going to show out and show up. Now, that's no slack on Michigan State because they show out no matter where they are. And this is Tom Izzo's, time of year where he always seems to thrive. I think Marquette, their guards are better than Michigan State's guards. So if you're a K-State fan, I would rather see Michigan State and Tom Izzo. But that's a hard sentence to say. You'd rather see Tom Izzo in March? I don't know if that's a great idea either. But I think Tyler Kolek, the way he's able to dictate pace for Marquette, I think they're the better team. I have them winning that region. So I obviously have high hopes for Marquette. But you bet against Tom Izzo, Jeremy. You know this. You're asking for it, so maybe I'm asking for it.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.